It's eclipse season yet again, where collectively we feel that something important is about to happen. To the naked eye, eclipses appear to be the most dramatic celestial events. Therefore, observing eclipses has led astrologers to bestow upon the lunar nodes such meanings as radical, extreme, destabilizing, and transformative. Every morning, the sun rises over the eastern horizon, giving birth to a new day. When a child is born, astrologers calculate the intersection between the point due east on the local horizon and the ecliptic in order to determine the ascendant, also known as rising sign or lagna. Although not a celestial body, the ascendant is a key point in the natal chart, revealing information about the person's body, physical appearance, and the body's path. Similarly, Rahu is called North Node or Ascending Node because it rises over the ecliptic horizon as a result of the moon's path crossing the path of the sun. The two luminaries, sun and moon, are at the core of creating and interpreting astrological charts. Through the moon, we experience ourselves subjectively with our needs, emotions, and inner knowing. The sun represents the light of consciousness, the essence of life, the utmost masculine archetype, which, during an eclipse, symbolically impregnates the utmost feminine archetype, the moon, thus conceiving Rahu, the individual consciousness. In the nodal axis, Rahu is the head, the upper part, where all sense organs are situated. Rahu has a voracious appetite for life. It amplifies the needs, emotions, and longings of the moon. I like to call Rahu the moon's fantasy. The exaltation sign of the moon is Taurus, which is the face in astrological anatomy. So this is the area where the senses are experiencing the world. Hindu astrologers consider the nodes to be Caesars, so they take whatever planet and sign and house they touch in the horoscope and embark on a journey. Interestingly enough, some Hindu astrologers consider Rahu to be very well placed in Taurus, perhaps because that is the moon's exaltation, and Rahu would amplify that sign of moon's exaltation. We talked so much about the North Node already, perhaps because of its seductive appeal and illusion-filled aura. But at the other end of the nodal axis there is Ketu, the South Node, the descending node of the moon, formed when the moon sets under the ecliptic horizon in a horoscope. So while Rahu is similar to the rising sign and the birth of something, Ketu is like the descendant, the seventh house, the setting of the sun, and the death of something. While Rahu is the head, Ketu is the headless body, the internalizing of needs and knowingness, ancestral lineage and past lives, and death of individual consciousness. While Rahu is worldly and extroverted, Ketu is spiritual and introverted. However, if the individual fails to integrate the nodal lessons in their respective houses, signs, and planets, the axis becomes imbalanced and chaos ensues in a person's life through the extreme manifestation of the nodes as compulsion, addiction, extreme rigidity. In astrology, the North Node is the point in need of development, and the South Node is the security paradigm we fall back on. Rahu is the future, always moving forward, oftentimes compulsively. That is why it is also associated with technology, illusion, and artificial ways seeking to push the boundaries of human existence. Ketu is the past, where we come from, past lives and ancestral lineage, where we retreat to as our comfort zone, but that comfort zone can also act as a limiting, self-imposed prison, a dead end. So the extreme effects of Ketu can lead to depression. Ketu is where we eventually find liberation, but only after having integrated the perilous journey of Rahu, a journey instigated by the trickster node that amplified the value of something opposite your comfort zone. For instance, you have the North Node in the 7th house. You will witness partnerships, romantic or otherwise, coming and going very dramatically. The person will want to retreat in the South Node area, the 1st house, thinking to themselves, I got into that relationship, I thought it would give me everything and I will be the happiest. But since I didn't get everything and I'm not the happiest, that means I don't need anyone, ever, and I prefer to be alone. Ideally, a person with such a placement would find their worth and their role in a partnership without trying to control all the circumstances and the outcome and the other person. Ages 42 and 48 are very important in a person's life as they mark the nodal maturations, and oftentimes these years bear the trademark of chaotic, compulsive, but hopefully transformative to a person's life. Eclipses occur every year, and whenever that happens, there is a stirring of the pot on a collective level and on an individual level. The moon, our subjective consciousness, is squeezed, stretched out to the extremes by the 2 nodes. It's like a portal appears where our over-externalized or over-internalized needs and longings burst out in the shape of fated events. So if you are watching this around an eclipse, buckle up and enjoy the ride.